Howdy there. I'm Eric Normand. This is my vlog. So, it's cold today. Yesterday it was 70 degrees, and now it is in the 40s and dropping. At least that's what the prediction is. It's going to be dropping all day. So, this wind is coming in from the north and just bringing all the cold air from the Arctic down to us. And so I was facing that wind, so I'm starting a little late today. Just a little late because I got home late having to brave that wind. I bike, so wind really affects me. Right. So what do I need to talk about today? So I moved everything over to this new YouTube channel. So please subscribe to this one if you haven't yet. Like the old videos if you like them, because I deleted the old ones. I just moved all the vlog over, put one message in the old one, and now here we are. So 2018, it's Friday, the 12th of January. And 2018, I really want to make it all about people. I'm realizing that as my influence expands, as my clout in the closure community expands, that I'm probably going to expand past the closure community. And that's a good thing, but I need to start being, I think, a little bit more of a people person. You know, I need to be making relationships. And, you know, as soon as you want the relationship to exist, it's too late if you haven't already started. So I think one thing that I'd like to do is just reach out to people. You know, just establish a little bit of communication, so that they know that I exist, and I just say thank you, you know. So for instance, someone writes a great blog post, I just say, hey, I liked your blog post, right? Someone does something great for the closure community, I say, hey, thanks, that was awesome. You know, just little things like that. Doesn't have to be amazing, but I have this idea that if I just do one of those a day, then things will turn into stuff. I notice that I'm kind of bad at remembering people. There are people that I definitely remember, you know, but then there are people that I definitely do not. So the other day, maybe like a couple months ago, I was tweeting with someone, and I was like, why is this person tweeting at me so familiar, like we have something shared, you know? And so I started looking into my email. I searched for the name in my email, and I realized that I had, you know, a 4 or 5 email conversation with this person before. And they had reached out to me, and I responded, you know, and went like that. And, you know, I did not remember that at all. I mean, I remember the conversation, but I didn't remember the name to place it on Twitter. And I feel like there should be a tool that does that helps you with that. A tool that connects people on all these different networks that you're on. I don't feel like my phone helps me very much. It's always hard to search, and you have to search in different places and kind of remember what's going on. The tool should do that, I believe. So one thing that like always bugs me is someone will email me and I know nothing about them. Okay? I mean, I know myself personally, but I want to know, are they on my mailing list? Right? Have they visited my blog? Right? Is that where they're coming from? Is that where they got my email address? Do they follow me on Twitter? Is this a customer? Have they bought something from me before? All of those questions should just, boom, pop up when this person emails me. It should be like in the right-hand column of Gmail. And just, I don't know why this hasn't been solved, or if other people don't realize this problem, or maybe they have it solved and I'm the one who's behind. I really don't know. I would also like something to help me follow up with people in a personalized way. I have something that can follow up with a non-personalized way, but I want something to say, hey, you sent this email 4 weeks ago. This conversation is going stale, or you haven't talked to this person in a while. Their birthday's coming up, or something. I'm not that good at it, but like, just remind me to keep these conversations going. And it needs to be good enough to integrate with Twitter, because if I'm communicating with them on Twitter, I don't need to email them too, right? And then also just to remember people's email addresses, be able to search them faster. That's the kind of tool I'm thinking of. Okay, enough about that. So I said it's Friday. Friday is usually, I've got it blocked off on my calendar. Every week on Friday, it is no meeting day. So I've got a free day that is basically to be working on the business. That's what I've reserved it for. And sometimes I get to do that. I wish I did it more, and that is another resolution I have for 2018, is to optimize more. And by optimize, I mean figure out how to further my goals better. So instead of just working on it, I'm going to make the furthering happen better. Okay, and so my goals are to create a comprehensive closure learning site and to help people get jobs in closure. Okay, and so then there's all these other goals, which is that secondary goals, which will lead to that, which is to have connections all through the closure world and the functional programming world. And all of that rests on me understanding my customers, understanding who I am serving, what they need. And so 2018 is going to be the year of being very personal. In 2017, I started off that way, but it was my first year full time, and so I was very hesitant to go that way. I wanted to go a more automated, scalable way, and I turned off a lot of the emails I had that were asking for replies. I deleted lines from emails. Because before I had a thing that said, hey, if thanks for subscribing, please tell me what your goals are with closure. Just hit reply and let me know. I want to know. I want to help you. And I took stuff like that out. Because I was getting inundated by email, and I wanted to free my mental space so that I could produce more content. That was my strategy. And then also people were talking about how amazing it was to have automated sales sequences for emails. And I'm not shy about sending people emails, right? They can always unsubscribe, right? So I made a thing so that people would get all these emails. And people were thanking me for it, right? People were like, oh, wow, this is such great content. But then I also got people saying, thanks for all this content. I've saved these because I don't have time to get to them. And I keep getting more from you. And I'm never going to get to them all. That's basically what they were saying. And also, it didn't improve my sales. Like, my sales did not go up. I could not tell at all. And okay, on the next thing, there are two other things were happening. One was my subscriber numbers were going down, which is common when you start increasing the number of emails. But that was really the first time that I hadn't seen a steady rise in subscribers. So more people were unsubscribing than subscribing. So that's not good for me. I didn't want to see that. And, a lot of people will, to help motivate people who are afraid to send more emails, they'll say like, well, they weren't going to be customers anyway. And it's probably true. But they weren't customers with the emails either. And I thought long and hard about it. And then this other thing I started to realize was, if people are like saving my emails to read later because they like the content, but they don't have time, and then they're getting more and more, so they're getting like a backlog, it means I can't announce something new. I can't give a timely email and make sure that they read it. So it's true, they're probably per person reading more of my stuff, but I'm losing that ability to say, today I want you to read this. Right? So when I announce my conference, people will ignore it because they've already got a backlog from me that they want to read. And this is just another thing that they don't believe they'll get to. So I stopped all of those automated sales emails. There's only a few things like welcome to the list, that kind of thing. But the ones that are just like, oh, hey, I thought you might want to learn about closure today, that kind of thing, I just got rid of all of those. And I'm realizing that I'm still really small. This whole idea of automating and getting the growth through automation, it's not where I'm at right now. People don't know who I am enough. They don't have a personal enough connection with me. And I don't understand them enough. And sure, it sucks to have to be inundated by email and to feel like there's not enough time to produce content when you're reading somebody's or answering someone's question, having a conversation. But those things are invaluable at the phase that I'm in. So that's what I'm focusing on this year, is actually reconnecting with people, with subscribers, to get them to tell me, to open up. What are you looking for? Why are you here? What are your goals? Where are you coming from? Are you a programmer already? Are you a new programmer? Have you been programming for 20 years and you need a change? What is it, right? And really just put in the work and do it manually. Read them, respond, say hi, point people at resources, do that kind of stuff. And only automate when it starts to get repetitive. Right? If I find myself, I'm always telling people to go here. Maybe I should make an email that preempts that and sends that out, and just a little at a time. But I also think that maybe I'll never automate. I mean, maybe, I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, maybe I just have to hire someone who can answer these questions, because I would like to keep it personal. Someone to handle my email, I guess, is what it is. Figure out what needs me, what needs a human touch and what needs my touch. And then, what is spam and stuff like that. So yeah, that's 2018. It's just really investing more of myself into my customers. And, over the Christmas break, I sent out Christmas cards, handwritten. I addressed each envelope. I wrote a message to each person. It was a lot of work. But I feel like that's the scale I'm at, is where I can do that. I can contact each and every subscriber, member. And I need to be doing that. And I want to know where people are at. I want to have my finger on the pulse. And I want to have influence. I mean, that's the other thing with the subscriber count going down. It doesn't help your influence to have it go down, even if they're not a customer now, right? I still want to be able to help them and give them value and not inundate them with email so that they stick around and they know who I am. And maybe, I've noticed that people take some time before they decide to pursue seriously learning Clojure. They might be kind of interested in it and they want to drip of like a little osmosis, like keep their ear to the Clojure community, but they're not like, okay, 10 hours a week, I'm going to start learning it. No, they're not doing that. Some people are, but mostly it's people who are browsing, right? They've heard Clojure is cool and they just want some ideas from the community and see what it's like before jumping in. And so I feel like this, newsletter idea, this slow growth, slow trust building is the way it's got to be. It just is. And I'm just very thankful that people want to hear what I have to say and the way I curate content, links, and stuff in the newsletter. I want to protect that trust that people have in me and grow it over time. So one thing I wanted to do, which I haven't done enough of, I'm doing a little bit of tracking of people before they sign up, so I know like what emails they're getting and stuff like that. And I promised myself that in 2018 I would read what happens to each person instead of trying to like automate it and look at it statistically, because there's so few people. I can actually read each one and know exactly what that one person did, where they came from, I could guess, right, what caused them to buy at that point. Was it an email that they got? They got an email and then 10 minutes later they are putting in their credit card. Like, that's the kind of thing that I can do at this scale, that once you have thousands of customers, you can't do that anymore. And you lose touch with that. And you have to start thinking at broader scales to grow. You have to be thinking statistically. But right now, it's like 1 and 1 and 1. And this is something that I'm sure like most business people already know. Like, when you start a business, like, you should just be in there doing everything, personal relationships, sell one thing at a time. Each sale is a new start, but I had to learn that myself. So that's what basically the biggest lesson of 2017 was. Each sale I will have to push through. That's what I learned in the Clojure Sync for the ticket sales. I thought the ticket sales would be the easiest part. I really did. I thought I would just have to tell people about it and I would see sales, and I'd tell people again and I would see more sales. And so people, when I I have confided in some people like how many sales I made like near the beginning, and they were like, "Oh, is it a problem of promotion?" And like I don't think that it's promotion. Like it's not a question of like people knowing about it. It is the hard work of figuring out what they want, what's stopping them, why they're not buying yet, and then figuring out a solution to those things. Like I went to the conj in October, and this was before I really realized how much work I would have to put into doing sales. And half the people I talked to were like all excited about the conference. Half the people were like, "Oh, are tickets on sale yet?" Right? So they're probably not that interested that they hadn't already bought, already looked up whether tickets were on sale, but they hadn't heard, right? They thought, I don't know what they thought, but it means I wasn't doing a good enough job of communicating that, buy now, right? Urgency, that kind of thing. Half the people, so there's multiple halves, okay, more than two halves, but some people were like, well, I don't know if I can go to that one and Closure West. And I was like, what? Closure West has been canceled. Didn't you hear? And so, no, they didn't hear. That is another challenge that Cognitect has not communicated on its part enough that Closure West is not happening. And so these people were conflicted when they shouldn't have been. They should have just known that Closure. And so I had to take that on too, just communicating, hey, it's not happening. So if you thought you were going to go to Closure West, maybe you should think about Closure Sync. It's happening at about the same time. So that was there too. A lot of it was like I thought the tickets would sell so fast. I started thinking, this was before I started selling them, I started thinking, well, I don't want to promote my early bird price too much because I'll make less money. These tickets are going to sell, so I want to sell the regular price, not the early bird. So I'll put the early bird up there and I'll mention it, and a few people bought, but that was a mistake. And, I'm not a salesperson, and I realize now the reason you have those kinds of augmenting prices, like, you have the early bird, the regular, the late bird, and the last minute. I don't know. You have all these different prices. The reason you do that is because at every transition, as the price goes up, you can create urgency. You can say, the price is going to go up tomorrow. You better buy now. I didn't realize that was not clear to me, and I thought it was something else. I thought it was just like, some people are really early, and you want to reward them for giving you their money earlier. That's what I thought. For making the decision early, they get a little bit of a discount, right? Maybe it helps them a little bit, but no, it's all about sales. It's all about sales. So like for next year, it's too late for this year, but for next year, like I'm even thinking, well, why not have like 10 tiers, right? Like the super ultra early bird, and then every week you can say, hey, the price is going up again. It's not coming back down, so you better buy now. So all those little sales things, I feel like I should have been pushier. I guess I was resting on this idea of like just content marketing, email marketing, but with something that's limited time like that, where hey, the conference is happening in February, you only have 6 months to sell all the tickets. Like, you kind of have to be aggressive. You have to force people into making the decision of whether they're going to buy or not. I mean, it's fine if it's no, but if you're going to come, just buy it now, right? That's what you need to do. And you can't do like a slow drip, right? You need, like, at every opportunity, like everything you do is an opportunity to talk about it and to push people closer to a decision. And just need to shout all the time about it. Just remind people. Like, the thing about Closure Sync is it happens in February. It's the beginning of the year. So people are going through their budgets in November, December. They're planning their budget for the next year. So you need to shout about it in November and December so they remember to bring it up at the budget meeting so that they can go in February and they can buy it in January. So it's all these things I had to learn. And I actually thought it'd be one of the easiest things. I guess one other mistake I made was I compared my conference to Deconstruct Conf, which was what's it called? Gary Bernhardt's conference. His first one was in 2017, and he sold out. And so I figured, oh, well, I'll sell out too. I have a mailing list, I have a following. But then I realized that he has a following on Twitter. Those are the numbers I could see. It's 10 times mine on Twitter. So, that means that he can have a 10 times bigger conference just looking at the law of averages. He could sell out more tickets, 10 times more tickets than I could. So I just hadn't done that math. I should have. But like I said, I'm past break even now. So I'm very happy. I'm not going to be losing money, even if I do lose sleep and a lot of time. But it'll be better next year. So I've been talking with people who say that the number one priority right now for the first one, your first conference, is to ensure that there is a second conference. So that's what I'm working on now. I just want to make sure that it's a great experience for the people who come and that they tell their friends that it was good and that I don't lose money so that I don't feel like doing it next time. I just need to make sure that everything goes smoothly, that people have a good time, and that next year it can be better. So like that also means like if I can do something now to prepare promotional material for next year. So getting a photographer so that I can make my site actually show photos of what the conference looks like, give people more of an idea of like what the space is like and what the energy is like, that kind of thing. One thing that I feel I'm really going over now, it's almost 30 minutes, but one thing I feel has been neglected at a lot of conferences is speaker care. Just taking care of the speakers and making sure that it's worthwhile for them. Especially like I'm not paying my speakers. I'm reimbursing them for travel, right? So flight and hotel. But I can't pay them. Like I just now broke even, and I hope next year I can, but I can't. But I want to make it as worthwhile to them as I can. And so one thing, like I've been building this personal site I told you, and I don't have any good photos of myself. And I've spoken at conferences before, and I don't have a photo. I don't have a really nice, like, wow, look at him up there, like totally engaging the crowd. Like I want something like that. And I want to give that to my speakers. Here's a thing, here's a photo, or here's a set of photos of you like totally rocking up on stage, or shaking hands with people and talking with people as they after the talk because they want to meet you. Like that's the kind of thing I want to provide to the speakers. Yep. Okay. Well, that's today. This is the 5th vlog, January 12th, 2018. Subscribe, like, comment. I'd love to answer some questions if you've got any. But this is really what to expect. It's just me talking into a camera about what I'm dealing with in my business at the moment. And there you go. See you later.